Welcome back to the Post Run Podcast. Just finished up 50 minutes, 5 miles, 5.22 miles, pace 9:38. Pretty solid run. Definitely felt like I was keeping that 2 to 3 pace in the beginning. Tried to slow down a little bit, make sure I was keeping a steady pace. Then from there, tried to make sure that I elevated my pace to a RPE of like 5, and then the last 10 minutes bring it back down a little bit faster than I expected, but good overall. I'm a bit tired. Stayed up late last night. I know that I keep talking about sleep. There was a UFC fight. Not that that's a good excuse, but that's what I was staying up and watching. Watched Khalil Roundtree, Yuri Prohakic. Holy crap, that was crazy. I don't know if any of you guys watch the UFC, but I mean, I put my money on Khalil, even though I knew that Yuri could win at any point. Khalil pieced him up for the first 2 rounds, and then Yuri just knocked him out in the 3rd round. Absolutely crazy. Then there was Corey Sandhagen versus Merab Dvalishvili. That was, I mean, I didn't really think that there was a chance that Merab lost that fight, and I thought Corey had 2 rounds that he could try to take the fight, and he did, but he didn't succeed. The 2nd round, Merab almost knocked him out. Honestly, I was surprised they didn't call it. And then last but not least, Ankalaev versus Alex Pereira. Poatan Pereira, Chama. And I thought that Alex was going to lose unless he was serious about himself not being good during that fight. Just because from what I could recall from that fight, Alex definitely seemed off in the beginning of the fight and throughout the first fight, but I just didn't know if he was actually off or not. I thought he was, but I wasn't 100% sure. And so I thought that this could be the same boring fight, but bro launched out in the beginning. Honestly, I thought that he might be pushing too hard. Not that I'm an expert in fighting, but one of my favorite fighters, Charles do Bronx Oliveira, who fights next weekend, he did the same thing against Islam, and just came out swinging like initially, and it caused the chance for mistakes. And so Alex won, and I'm super excited to see where that goes. Not sure if he's gonna potentially go up to heavyweight, hopefully chance of fighting John Jones or Tom Aspinall on the White House card. I personally think that you make Alex versus John like mid before next year, so there's a chance to fight on the White House card. After you do Alex versus John and you do Gons versus, Aspinall versus Gaines, John versus Alex, whoever wins, hopefully that builds trust with Dana for John to potentially fight on the White House card, or it builds it so that Alex has a super fight against Aspinall for the heavyweight belt, fighting on 4th of July on the White House card. This has nothing to do with running, but UFC is also something that I really like. It's gonna get loud here for a second. But yeah, so I stayed up late last night because of that. I was super tired this morning. My goal is to try to get home, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and try to make it over to church and then come home. I really need to try to order food stuff. I'm looking at the money in my bank account and not sure how that's gonna work. I do have money coming in next week though, but I also have my car insurance too. Lots of stuff, but today I feel good. The run felt pretty great overall. I thought that I might have been pushing a little bit too hard in the beginning, but I did keep to a 2 to 3. It's really hard trying to figure out what you're feeling that day. If, hey, this is a 2 to 3 today, or this is a 5 to 6 today. I don't know, especially with me not going to bed till 2 in the morning and getting up at like 8. So not much sleep. And I'm going to be working regular hours tomorrow, since I normally work like 8 to 2 right now, and tomorrow I'm going to be working 8 to 5 because this coming Friday I'm going to New York City, which I won't be running, so not sure if there'll be any post-run podcasts up there in New York City, but the next few days after that I'll be in upstate New York, where I'm originally from, for a bit of time. So yeah, some different scenery for the post-run podcast. This is like one of the coolest things to film for me because it just allows me to just spit, go free ball, talk about whatever it is that I want to talk about, and get practice speaking and communicating, trying to use a lot less like and and ah and okay, and just go off the top of my head. Speaking of going off the top of my head, or going off the top of your head, Chael Sonnen, somebody that I think can just talk for hours and hours about kind of nothing. Well, there being a subject or a topic. I'm very interested to see what he has to say about Alex Pereira and him trying to move up to heavyweight and potentially going after John Jones, since that's who he's calling for, even though he didn't want to call out immediately in the cage since his brother had passed away. So God bless his brother. Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. I still haven't ordered the blackout curtains or the stuff that I need to. It's like I don't know, my body, like I'm just not pressing forward. But I have October, November, December, January. I have 4 months, lots of weeks. But if I could get myself on track now, or order the stuff to get myself on track and start feeding my body, get up to that 155 pounds. Not realistically right now because of the running, but just fuel myself properly, maybe do some pull-ups and some stuff to build my muscle so that I'm less likely to have rhabdo and my muscles kind of adapt to muscular fatigue or whatnot. There's a lot of stuff that can be built upon and a lot of stuff that I want to do. I'd love to look like Batman, some crazy not Superman, but like superhero type stuff. But that's a whole nother thing in and of itself, because I tend to not want to strength train or do that stuff. But things to be working on. The podcast, I reached out to Tim, from the theologian from the Bible Project, and tried to see if I could get him on the podcast. They said they're busy right now. Want to reach out to Cliff and potentially Wes Huff and see if I can land them on the podcast. What else? Just a lot of things. Just a lot of things that I'm working towards. A lot of things that I'm trying to find out and bring to fruition. I think ultimately I'm going to land on my first podcast back. I'm going to try to do myself, but like guest-wise, I think I want to go talk to Chase and see if he's interested in coming on the podcast. Chase ran across Illinois, Wisconsin. I keep messing it up. I mess up those states within that region, but I think it might be Illinois. So lots of stuff to think about, lots of stuff to move forward with. Got to read the Bible today, try to get out to church, and then do some stuff for my ultra running certification, and just focus on ordering the things that I need to order so that I start eating breakfast in the morning. But I feel that I could just keep rambling on and on. I'm just feeling so good right now. The run, like I said, felt good. Like 2 to 3 RPE for the first 10 minutes. Like I said, didn't know if I was pushing myself too hard there. Then picked it up to 5. And again, felt like I might have been pushing too hard. Slowed down for a little bit. Have to go to the bathroom, so I was going to stop, but decided not to. It looks like it's going to pour. You can see the clouds up there. But yeah, I feel like I shared a little bit more about myself. I really enjoy watching the UFC. I actually want to be able to try to go to the 250th. I love 4th of July. I actually tried to escape my mother's womb early and was almost born on the 4th. That kind of shares how much I love the 4th of July. So as much as I don't always like celebrate it the best, I love America, and I love what America is and what it represents, and what it represents for me is different than what it represents for a lot of people. I think that I was disappointed in America for a while because I thought that this was not the idea what I had for America of what a lot of other people have for America. But I believe that just like anybody, just like myself, I've made a lot of mistakes, and I think that America has made a lot of mistakes, but I also believe that it's the greatest country in the world. And I don't say that as a diss to any other country. It's just, I believe that it's the greatest country in the world. I believe it's the only country where you can talk about whatever you want, whether it be good or bad, and you won't get killed. You have freedom of speech, and people died for that. And yeah, I think that America is the greatest country in the world. America was founded on immigration. It was founded from people coming over here, risking everything, risking their lives to make it here, because they didn't have a life wherever it was that they were living, or they didn't have a life that was safe wherever it is that they were living. And they've seen people come over here and take nothing and build it into the greatest country on the planet Earth, and they want to be part of that. And I think that in America, we celebrate, or rather should celebrate, the fact that we've come from all of these different countries, yet as much as we consider ourselves part of those other countries because we appreciate where we came from and where our lineage is, we celebrate the fact that we're Americans. And that's what this country is. So I love the 4th of July. I just think it brings back the fact that our country is one of the greatest countries ever, and we've never been perfect, but we've always worked towards progress. And there's been people in the country that have not fully been on board, but there's been more than enough people that want to move forward and make progress and make America a greater nation than it is. And as much as America sometimes feel like it could be going backwards, I think that ultimately nothing will ever stop greatness from moving itself forwards. There can be dark times, but the whole goal is to move forward and to become better than it is and was before. And I think that people will ultimately move ourselves forward. And I think that I'm just super excited for what America will and can continue to become. But all that said, I really want to go to the White House card, so I'm going to try to call the White House and email them and text message them and see if there's any way that I could get some tickets to the White House event so that I could potentially go and bring some friends or family. Not sure if that's even possible, but just putting it out there. With that said, be who you want to become until you become who you want to be. Thank you guys so much for watching. And yeah, shout out to you, Jordan, because I don't know if you'll ever see this in the future, but it is more documenting. Closer to Florida Forgotten 100 than we were before. And don't make the same mistakes. Order shit so that you can eat. See you guys.